Did you know that you could plant garlic in your own backyard? Hi, I'm Michelle from JMC Family Farms. We started our channel to teach people about farming, gardening, and cooking from scratch. Today in this video, I'm going to show you just how easy it is to plant garlic in your own backyard. Something that people are quite surprised about, you actually plant garlic in the fall. So what happens is you plant it in the fall, and then you tuck it away for the winter, and then it's not ready to be harvested until the following July. So you do have to have a little bit of patience when you are planting garlic. A few really important things to remember when you're planting hardneck garlic is you have to make sure you pick a location, if possible, that's fairly sunny and that's facing south. The other thing you need to do is you need to try to make sure the area that you choose is quite dry. So I'm going to show you what we've done to our area to make sure that it's good for this year. And as you can see, I said I was late planting and it's starting to snow on me. So in our area, what I have done is we've tilled the area, we've added manure, we use horse manure, and we also use rabbit manure. That's a really important step to do because you want to make sure that your soil is balanced, especially if you're not doing crop rotation. The other thing that you can add to this is you can add some compost if that's what you have as well. The next thing you have to make sure is that you have seed garlic. So we're actually planting garlic that we grew in our own garden last year. So when you're picking seed garlic, you have to make sure that you're choosing your biggest bulbs. If you're choosing really tiny bulbs, it means that you're going to then have small garlic that you're producing for the next year, which we don't want. So I've picked our biggest bulbs, and then what you need to do is you just need to split them. Now, in an ideal world, I would have had this all done and it would have been sitting for a couple of days before. But like I said, I was running out of time, so it's either I'm getting this in the ground because we're supposed to get snow this week, or I don't get any garlic for next year. So that's it. All that you do to split this is you can use a little tool if you like, but you can just stick your finger in the bulb and then it just pulls apart. And that's it. It's as simple as that. I've had some questions before if you can actually take garlic from the grocery store and plant it in your garden. And that's really not recommended because often the garlic that you would purchase in the grocery store is shipped from other countries and they're often sprayed with different sorts of chemicals to make them not sprout. Make sure you either get seed garlic, and you can get that from a farmer's market. You can get it from a local farm that grows garlic, or you can of course use some of the garlic from your own garden. Something that I made last year that I've found has been really helpful, especially if you're a new gardener, is I made this little board. Now this is made out of an old fence board that my horses have kicked out, but what I've done is, and it's perfect for garlic. So what I've done is along the top I wrote a note that says 6 inches, and then along the side I marked like 1 inch, 2 inch, that sort of thing. In the middle, I just used a white chalkboard paint, and then I can write any notes that I want on here. So for instance, I've got on here garlic, you plant it 2 inches deep, the rows are 6 inches apart, and it's really 6 inches apart everywhere. So the nice thing is that I know when I put this board down, for instance, if I put it in the middle, I could put a garlic clove here, and I could put a garlic clove here, and I know that it's 6 inches apart. And then when I'm going to plant down the next one, I know that I just need to count the 6, and then I've got it 6 inches apart. So this was really helpful for me, and especially when you're a new gardener, because you don't remember everything. So it's a great place to keep notes. Another handy little thing that I made was, it's just an old piece of piping. And so what I wrote on here was like 1 to 6 inches. And so when I am planting things like, for instance, the garlic that we're gonna plant, I know that it needs to be in the ground 2 inches. So then at least I have an idea. I can use this, it makes a hole in the ground. There's lots of things that you can use when you're planting garlic, but this is handy for me because my area is not that big. And then I know that it's 2 inches. Other thing to keep in mind is the size of your garlic cloves that you're planting. So for instance, this one is quite large, this one is quite small. So you need to keep that in mind when you're going into the ground, because this is so much bigger, you have to make sure it's down in the ground further. Also, when you're planting the garlic, you need to make sure that the pointy side is up and there's like a flat piece of the clove that you need to put down into the ground. Pointy side up to the sky, and then the little flatter part goes into the ground. So I'll show you how to do that. So we have our board, and I have started against the wall, so I'm not going to plant on the other side. I will use my little stick, and I will just go down about 2 inches, and then we need to space 6 inches apart, and then the bulb goes down into the ground. And you just need to make sure that it's down far enough when you're planting. I did get smarter this year though, and I don't have my chickens out here pulling my garlic cloves out of the holes before I even get them covered up. After you have all of your cloves planted, the final step is to cover the area with leaves or straw. I always use leaves because we have lots of leaves and they're free, but you can definitely use straw as an option. The other thing that I have to do is I do put a fence around my garlic patch, and that's because my chickens and my rabbits will dig in this garlic patch. So just to protect the garlic, I do put a fence around the area. In the spring, you'll start to see little green shoots coming up through the leaves. So make sure you watch the video on your screen now, and you'll see exactly what those little shoots are gonna look like. A downside to planting garlic is you really have to be patient. You plant it, you tuck it all in for the winter, and then you have to wait until next summer in July, and then you can harvest it. Make sure you check out this video to see exactly how you are gonna harvest your garlic next summer. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.